Most guys start off in the gym with a plan to become jacked, to become this evolved version of themselves with tons of muscle, tons of strength, and a super aesthetic physique. They start off by going to the gym. They have a lot of passion, they have a lot of energy, they're gonna lift hard and heavy. They might bring a little bit of anger too. And all of that is great. However, if you really want to see success, if you really want to train to build the kind of aesthetic body, something similar to maybe what I did, you need to make sure that you switch a couple things up so that you're training with more specificity. The big mistake a lot of guys make when they first show up to the gym is they think lifting heavier, lifting harder is going to get them jacked. And yes, a lot of times, the guy who lifts more is going to have bigger muscles. However, doing powerlifting, training, single reps, 3-rep maxes or 5-rep maxes, these are only going to help your physique up to a certain point. These are not optimized in order to actually make you look better. When I first went to the gym with my friends, we would do bench press every single day. We would just do like our 5-rep max, or 3-rep max, or 1-rep max. We progressed a lot when it came to lifting the bench, but when it came to our physique, it didn't get that much better. You cannot train like a powerlifter. A powerlifter trains to lift as heavy as possible. However, powerlifters do not look that aesthetic. I'm assuming that you don't want to be a 300-pound fucking beefcake, and at the same time you also don't want to look like one of those skinny, sickly looking marathon runners. If you're watching this video, chances are you want to look somewhat similar to what I look, maybe slightly bulkier or slightly leaner, depending on your preference. The best way to achieve this is to train in high rep ranges. To train in higher rep ranges, train your compound movements and train them close to failure. It's a really hard way to train, and it works the most amount of muscles. In my 3 years of lifting experience, using this method of high rep compound movements has been by far the best way to build muscle mass. And also, it goes without saying, you still build a ton of strength. When it comes to building muscle mass, when it comes to building strength, if you want to have that gladiator build, the aesthetic build that I have, this is the best way to do it. The only downside is that this method requires a ton of effort. Like, it's going to be harder than anything else compared to doing like isolation movements or doing powerlifting. This method of training, you have to like froth at the mouth. That's how much effort it's going to take. If someone could have came and told me, Beeshmar, when it comes to building muscle mass, when it comes to getting jacked, when it comes to preventing injuries and becoming that gladiator version of yourself that you have within you, your 10-rep max matters way more than your 1-rep max. I would have been so much better off. I would have had way less injuries, and I would have been way more successful in the gym than I am right now. And that's not to say you don't want to do accessories. You still want to be doing your lateral raises, your arms, whatever else you want to hit. But just make sure that your priority is focused on the compound lifts, on really getting close to that failure point, really training in the high rep range. That's what's going to build you a shit ton of muscle mass. That's what's going to make you unrecognizable. It's going to give you that transformation. The second thing is you need to bulk up. If you want to build significant muscle mass, if you want to make a significant change to your body, you got to bulk up. You can't get there, by doing like recomps and by, not eating in a surplus. You're not going to get the significant amount of muscle mass. I don't want to hear any Reddit explanation of, you can build muscle mass. That's absolutely not true. These guys are skinny, they're weak. Don't listen to them. Yes, you can build some muscle mass without bulking up. It'll be very slow and not worth your time to do at all. If you want to build significant amounts of muscle mass, you got to bulk up. You got to eat in that surplus so that you can see massive gains and get to where you're going faster. Anyways, guys, with that being said, that's going to bring us towards the end of this video. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Check out my link if you want my guide on how to get there. Like the video if you did. Subscribe if you're not already. I'll see you in the next one.